Peace. I'm C.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Peach.
Welcome back to Beyond the Truth podcast, where we will discuss solved and unsolved cases. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, honey.
I'm sorry. Welcome back to Beyond the Truth podcast, where we will discuss solved and unsolved cases of missing persons, murders, abductions, serial killers, and all things true crime. Tonight, let's get into it, the case of the Menendez brothers.
Hi, Scotty. Hi, Luxon. Leo King. Hi. How are we all tonight?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. Welcome back.
Does anybody know about this case? Has anybody heard about it?
In the chat. These two, Scotty said these two were crazy.
Yes, they were. Ash says, yeah, he's heard about it. Hi, Kimber.
Okay. Hi, Kimber, Ash, Scotty, Leo. Who else came in? Oh, did we send the thing to Todd?
I think I did. Let me send it again.
I think he's playing Fortnite with Jimmy.
Oh, okay. Send
Okay, he saw it.
Hi, Diane. Hi, Todd.
Hi, Disayam.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, Todd's here. Are you gonna come up, Todd? Okay, so we can start talking about it if you want.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with giving a little background on the mother of the boys. Her name was Mary Louise Kitty Menendez. Lyle and Erik Menendez's mother, born October 14, 1941, Oak Lawn, Illinois, United States. Died August 20th, 1989, Beverly Hills, California, United States. Spouse, José Menendez. 1963 to 1989. Education, Southern Illinois University. Children, Erik Menendez, Lyle Menendez.
And
Kitty
I think she was a teacher, right, See?
Yes.
Okay.
Kitty Menendez was born to a middle-class family in suburban Chicago, where her father owned an air conditioning business. Her home life was very unhappy, with a cruel, abusive father and a despondent, battered mother. While Kitty was still a child, her father abandoned the family to move in with a mistress. Full of anger, she turned into a moody, depressed child and had very few friends. Eventually, she cut off all contact with her father, whom she came to despise. She attended college at Southern Illinois University in Carbondale. There, she met her future husband, Jose Menendez. They were married in 1964. Both of their families were opposed to the marriage, his because her parents were divorced, hers because of Jose's Cuban background.
Ridiculous.
Early in their married life, she taught elementary school. After giving birth to Lyle and Erik, she became a full-time homemaker. As her husband climbed up the corporate ladder, their life looked perfect to those looking in. Intelligent, attractive, charming in public, she appeared to be picture perfect. However, those who knew her described her as a high-strung woman who had a lot of difficulty coping with stress, and her husband's repeated affairs caused her to be unhappy in many aspects of her life. To deal with these problems, Kitty coped by consuming increasing amounts of alcohol and prescription pills, and some say she had become dependent on them. In 1987, she attempted to take her life by taking a bottle of sleeping pills. She recovered, but she and Jose continued to have marital problems. As a result, Kitty and Jose's relationship with their sons became increasingly strained.
Okay. So I'm going to be talking about Jose Menendez. He was Lyle and Erik Menendez's father. As C mentioned, he was born in Cuba. He was born to a well-off family. His father was a well-known soccer player who owned his own accounting firm. His mother was a swimmer. She was elected into Cuba's Sports Hall of Fame. Jose's parents were celebrity athletes. I'm not too sure what his mother did.
Mhm.
Okay, she was a swimmer. Did she do any other sports than that, or was that it for them?
Not,
Soccer and
not
swimming?
that I know of. You,
Okay.
Peach?
Not that I'm aware of. Not his
Okay.
parents.
So
Okay.
it was just those two things. So his parents were celebrity athletes, and his two sisters wanted for nothing. Um, in 1959, this seemingly perfect life was uprooted. It was at that time that Fidel Castro overthrew the ruling government and seized the property of wealthy and upper middle class families in 1960. Jose, as a 16-year-old, left the country to live in the United States, flying with his sister's fiance. That's really young.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So in high school, he was a high achiever and won athletic scholarships, but he couldn't afford to attend an Ivy League college. While attending Southern Illinois University in Carbondale, he met his future wife, Kitty. Her last name was Anderson. Jose and Mary married in 1964, as C mentioned. After graduating, he passed the CPA exam and he became a successful businessman. In all of his workplaces, he was known to be highly intelligent and diligent, but also in the workplace, Jose was widely disliked. He was arrogant and rude to coworkers and abrasive to subordinates, which I find carried over into his family life later on in the story, as you'll hear.
Hmm.
Jose was a very stern and demanding father. He was an unfaithful husband. Um, Not only did he cheat on his wife, but he cheated with numerous women and had multiple affairs. So this had a lot of negative effects on the marriage, spilling over and affected both the parents' relationship with their sons. Um, his family, the whole family, moved to Southern California, and he became an executive for RCA. And through his job, he became friends and aligned with a number of show business celebrities. While his professional life seemed to be thriving, his home, personal, and family life was falling apart.
Next, we're going to talk about Joseph Lyle Menendez. That was the firstborn child. He was born January 10th of 1968 in Princeton, New Jersey. Um, Again, he was the firstborn child. After his birth, his mother became a full-time homemaker. His father immediately set about making sure his oldest sons was even more successful in business than he was. Jose wanted to give him a good name in the process. In achieving that goal, Jose became a stern, domineering father who controlled what Lyle would eat, who he would associate with, what books and television shows he was allowed to watch, even tried to control his thoughts. Starting in grade school, Jose would question him about current events at the dinner table. Uh, his mother supported his father's methods. In addition, Lyle was subject to his mother's dramatic mood swings. The pressure took a toll on Lyle, who developed a bedwetting problem at the age of 14 and suffered from insomnia. He also came to have a fierce temper. In high school, his father ordered him to find a sport at which he excelled, one that involved being on a team. Lyle chose tennis and he was very successful at tennis, actually. Highly
Mhm.
ranked member, like his brother in like his brothers in grades were only average, which caused further tension at the home. After graduating high school, he was rejected by Princeton University and attended a local community college. He fell in love with a girl and even wanted to open a restaurant, but his fathers disapproved, and the interfering ended the romance. Um, It is believed that one of his girlfriends was pregnant, although it is not clear which one. Jose controlled many aspects of his son's lives, paid the young girls to terminate her pregnancy and to leave Lyle and not return or contact him in any way. Lyle was accepted into Princeton on his second try, which shortly afterwards was suspended for, what was it?
Plagiarism.
Plagiarism.
So, with that, seeing I watched a movie. Um, I think it was a
Mhm.
Lifetime movie. Am I correct?
Yes.
It was a 3 hour movie. It was really long. But it what was the offer? I can't remember what the offer was that he made to the principal. But the principal agreed that he could come back after a year. Now I don't know if that was a little bit extra added on for the movie or if that actually happened. I can't see. Do you remember what the agreement was that he made with the
Um,
principal? I was falling asleep, so
I don't remember either. Um, I don't
I'll
know
look
if
it
he
up.
gave them a check. I'm not sure
Yeah, but
if
in
he's,
the movie, like I said, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it was kind of like embellished a little bit for the movie or
yeah.
if that's really what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
So you want me to read Erik Menendez?
yeah, go ahead, honey.
Okay, so I'm gonna read Erik Menendez. Was born in November 27, 1970 in Blackwood, New Jersey, USA, the younger of the Menendez brothers. Erik grew up in the shadow not only of his domineering, controlling father, Jose Menendez, but of his older brother, Lyle Menendez. As did Lyle, Erik endured having his every action, acquaintance, activity, and even thoughts micromanaged by his father. He was occasionally subject to high-pressure questioning and lectured during dinner, but not to the extent that Lyle was. Erik and his father weren't close. He was closer to his mother and endured her dramatic mood swings. Erik was sensitive and shy. The pressure took a toll on him and he developed stomach pains, stuttering, and habitual teeth grinding. Feeling rejected by Jose, Erik found solace with Lyle, whom he adored and bragged to his friends about. His school grades were only slightly above average and he didn't have many friends.
Oh,
Upon graduating from high school, Erik had wanted to attend college out of the state to get away from his domineering father, moody mother, mentally unstable mother. However, due to Lyle's troubles at Princeton, this caused his parents to overrule and object to it. Erik became increasingly frustrated by his parents' domineering manner and tense home life. Poor Erik. Erik and a close friend wrote a screenplay about a teenager who murders his wealthy parents for the inheritance. He showed it to Lyle, who at some point decided to carry the plot out in real life and convince Erik to participate.
I feel sorry for these guys in a way.
Yeah, it's
In a
sad
way,
because, the abuse
yeah.
Yeah,
that
but they
they
were
had
out
to.
robbing homes and all this before they even, decided to take their parents' life. They were
Mm-hmm.
robbing homes, and the dad would pay their way out of it. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, they were staying in, I think, Calabasas, if I'm not mistaken. And
Mm-hmm.
they moved to Beverly Hills to try to get them away from that
So
kind
just
Mm.
of
so you
crime.
guys can get a good idea of what this home was like, it's not like it was this tiny little house. It was a multi-million-dollar mansion.
Yeah.
That was owned by Prince, Elton John, Michael Jackson. All of these people at one time owned this. I've got that written further in our notes.
Yeah.
And I think I've got some pictures here of their home.
It was a beautiful home. Oh my God.
Yeah, just I'll pull them up. Um, Peach, do you want to start for me? I'm gonna pull these pictures up of their home. I think I sent them to you, see, right?
The
So they're
pictures?
in there, I think.
Yeah. I sent them
Um,
back. I sent you some too.
Okay.
some of the time and events
Timeline
things
events?
happened. August the 20th of the 89, entertainment executive Jose Menendez and his wife Kitty are shot to death in their Beverly Hills mansion at 722 North Elm Drive. The mansion at one time was home of celebrities such as Elton John, Michael Jackson, and Prince. Lyle and Erik purchased two 12-gauge shotguns 2 days prior to the shootings. The brothers purchased the gun using a fake ID with the hopes that their identity would not be discovered. Their shotgun would be the weapons the brothers would use to murder Kitty and Jose Menendez. They were purchased at a shot in San Diego. They used two types of ammunition, large pellets and bird shots. 5 blasts hit Jose Menendez. 9 blasts hit his wife Kitty, claims Dr. Irwin Golden, who had performed the autopsy on both of the victims. Kitty and Jose were spending a quiet night at home, sitting in a den watching James Bond on the family TV. The Spy Who Loved Me. They had no idea the horror that was about to be that was about to unfold. Apparently, at approximately 10 p.m., it was Erik who went into action first, shooting Jose's arm, and then Lyle killed his father instantly with a shotgun to the back of the head. It's likely he never saw it coming. The shot was so violent that he nearly blew off his skull. Lit, possibly the idea was to get the still physically strong father out of the way first. Jose was shot another 3 times at close range. When pictures of the scene was shown in court, people gasped at the violent crime scene. Once Kyle had shot Jose in the head, Kitty sitting near him tried to get up and run. I've done lost my place. I'm sorry. This reading stuff
That's
ain't for
okay.
me. Yeah. Running down the hallway, but before she could make it out out of the house, she was shot. Kitty was shot about 10 times in all. Unlike Jose, did not die right away. She was shot in the chest, arms, legs. Then Lyle and Erik ran out of bullets. They had to leave the home. They went out to their car. They reloaded the gun. Kitty was still alive at this point, moaning and groaning, trying to crawl away, only until they come back in the room. As she looked up at them, Erik shot her in the face, taking out her nose and her left eye. Returning to the bloody crime scene, Kitty was killed by contact shot to her left cheek that shattered her skull, including a shot that had almost severed her right thumb. Ugh. All right.
Mm-hmm. Gruesome.
Evil.
Mm-hmm.
You want to pick up from there, Sarah?
See, can you go? I don't know
Yeah,
where
I
we're
got
at this point.
Erik and Lyle claim they returned home after a night at the movies to find their parents had been murdered. What they had given to the police as their alibi was they tried to see the movie Batman, but it was sold out. So they went to see another movie, James Bond License to Kill. Approximately the movie lasted 2 hours and 21 minutes. The Menendez brothers even went to a bar after the movie with some friends to further solidify their alibi. Following the murders, they set about finding a place to dispose of the murder weapons, ultimately disposing them in a secluded wooded area. Later, they stopped at a gas station to discard of their other incriminating evidence, throwing the shotgun shells and blood-splattered clothes into a garbage dumpster. The night of the murders, the brothers told police they'd gone out that night to see a movie, but had to make a pit stop to retrieve Erik's ID that he had forgotten at home and required to see License to Kill. That's when they discovered their parents' disseminated bodies, as they said in their interviews. So I'm going to go a little bit into the timelines of all
Can
the
I just
events. Yeah,
can you just hold that thought for one
yeah.
second? See,
I got
Karen, they shot the dad, I believe it was 4 times, and the mother was no, the father was shot, I believe, 5
5.
times, and the mother 9 times.
Actually, I think they shot her 9 times and then went out and loaded again and then come back in there and shot her again in the face.
Well, it was a total of 9 times.
Oh, was it a
So it was,
total? I
yeah,
thought it was
15
9 and
shots
then.
between the father and the mother. Horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that they had went to the Taste of LA annual festival that night after they had went to the movie supposedly.
Yeah,
Oh,
to
that's
get
where they
drinks
had
with
the drink.
friends.
I can't believe they didn't give them a gun residue test.
Well, it was their Academy Award winning acting that made
Yeah.
them think that they couldn't possibly have anything to do with this. Okay, so C, did you want to continue, honey?
Yes. At 11:47 p.m., Lyle dialed 911 to report the murders. So the murders happened around 10 p.m. And then at 11:47 p.m., Lyle dialed 911 to report the murders of his parents. Erik could be heard in the background crying and sobbing uncontrollably. Around 1 a.m., August 22nd, the night of the murders, the Menendez brothers were taken to the police station to be further questioned on the murders of their parents. At 2:18 a.m., the interviews had concluded. By 8 a.m., the crime scene investigation had concluded, and Erik and Lyle were able to access their home again. On October 31st, 1989, Erik Menendez confesses to psychiatrist Dr. Jerome Oziel that him and his older brother Lyle had killed their parents. In an attempt to impress his mistress, ignoring his own ethical responsibilities, Dr. Oziel began taping the sessions of his new client. In March of 1990, Lyle reportedly threatened to kill the therapist if he relayed the information to anyone else. Threatening a physician nulls and voids the doctor-patient confidentiality agreement. Dr. Oziel's mistress went to police and reported that Lyle had threatened to kill Dr. Oziel, setting into motion the events that were about to follow.
Peach, um, so there's a big um portion of the story that I think we should add in here.
Mhm.
Can you explain a little bit about the spending?
Oh, they went crazy with the spending. I think it was Lyle, if I'm not mistaken.
Well,
Erik.
they bought
Yeah, I
Rolex
don't know. Well,
watches.
I don't know where you're at on the reading part, so
Well, I know where we're at, but so
I can just go into
I
what
would
I
like
got
it
and
explained
yeah.
right now about the spending, because after this we're going to go into talking a little bit about the case and stuff. So
Well,
Yeah.
I
I
think
know that Lyle bought like Rolex watches. He bought Porsches. He bought
Mhm.
tailor-made suits.
A restaurant.
Yeah, he bought a. It was I think it was a Buffalo Wild Wings or a Buffalo Wing restaurant of some kind, and it was in
Mhm.
Princeton, New Jersey. I think he paid like $500,000 just for that restaurant.
Yeah.
Um, the other brother,
Erik,
yeah,
Designer
Erik.
clothes.
He went and got a
a
tennis
tennis
coach,
coach.
and I
Yeah.
think he paid him like $60,000-$70,000 a year. There again, fancy clothes. Both of them went together and was getting condos in some big Hollywood neighborhood out there. And I think from the time that the parents got killed to the time that they were arrested, they had spent over like $700,000.
Mm.
And that was about what the insurance company had paid out at that point, right? Or was that just the money that they were spending that was in their parents' bank account?
I was about to say I believe that's just what the business, his dad's business, was bringing in at the moment. They were going through it like water. So
And
Wow.
they were set to inherit, I believe it was $14 million.
Yeah, for the state was estimated to be $14 million
And
worth.
didn't you say at one point that you found another 5 million that would be?
Yes, he had the 14 million of the estate. He had another 500,000, right? That's what I told you.
I think so.
Of another insurance that he had, and there was another one, and I can't remember how much the other one was for,
the
Hmm.
thing
but there
is,
was a lot of money.
Erik could have been very successful. I mean, he placed 44th in the 18 and under in tennis. He had a long way to go. He could have been somebody. So
Well, I think both of them could have
Yeah.
they
I think
they had
Lyle
everything.
was a little bit more disappointment to his dad than Erik was. Maybe it's because Erik was still young and he still had that somewhat of control, and that's just a guess. But Erik, I mean, he done great at everything. He had good grades in school at the time. Like I said, he had a good career going for him. I believe at one time he might have even was going to work with his dad or in the process of going to work with his dad's company. So
Well, they had everything at their disposal.
They had a good future, and
they really did. They
yeah.
could have been something.
Hmm. So, what I wanted to include, and I tried to go back and find the source where I had read this. I couldn't find it again after. But what I read that one of the vehicles was seized in the investigation, um, and the police called them and said, you can come back and pick up your car. Well, when they went back to pick up the car, I believe it was Lyle, found underneath the passenger seat of the car one of the bullets. And I don't think at this point, at the point where the vehicle was returned to them, they still weren't really like suspects in their murder. That the police were still kind of believing that it had something to do with the mafia.
Yeah.
Well,
Uh,
that was one of the things they
so
shot him
that's
in the.
how.
Sorry,
Pardon?
that was one of the things they shot him in the knees so it would look like a mafia hit.
Yeah.
And right after the day after, they murdered their parents, one of them was driving around in their mom's Mercedes or whatever it was.
Yeah. So, so then for the next 3 years, a legal battle was fought over the admissibility of the psychotherapist tapes. And then in 1992, the California Supreme Court ruled that the tapes could be used as evidence. On March 8th, the older brother, Lyle, was arrested on suspicion of killing his parents. Authorities awaited the return of Erik, who was away playing in a tennis tournament in Israel. Now, I thought I read that Erik was thinking about not returning, like he wanted to run.
He took a few days before. He took some time. He didn't come back right away. They decided not
Okay.
to. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, right. Yeah, because it says on March 11th, Erik finally surrendered at the Los Angeles airport
It took a
upon
couple of
returning
days.
from the tennis tournament. And then on March 12th, murder charges were filed against Erik and Lyle. The district attorney said that the two killed their parents in hopes of inheriting an estate estimated to be worth about $14 million. On March 26th, Erik and Lyle both pled innocent to murder. On December 8th, 1992, Erik and Lyle were indicted for murder. And then July 20th, 1993, opening statements began in the brothers' trial. Prosecutors accused the brothers of premeditated murder, while defense lawyers provided a sordid description of greed and sexual abuse. So this was another thing that nothing was mentioned prior to Erik and Lyle being charged that there was any kind of sexual abuse going on within the family. So both Erik and Lyle had their trials separate, but at the same time. So there's two separate juries.
They thought Erik was
trials going on in the same courtroom.
They was actually thinking Erik was gay before all this even happened. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there was supposedly picture proof of this.
Yeah.
And actually, C was just looking at some pictures and said that she
it looked
thought
like
that he was possibly
could have possibly been.
So the defense contends that José Menendez molested Erik Menendez from the age 6 until 18. And Lyle testified that his father had molested him from age 6 to 8. But not only did they accuse the father of sexual assault, they accused the mother of sexual assault. So Lyle testified in court that his mother was very strange and that she, like his father, sexually abused him. Until he was 13, his mother would wash his body everywhere, and she would invite him into bed with her, and he would touch her everywhere. He said that he took this to be love, and nothing else at the time. And he said that he wasn't enjoying it. So he stopped the activities, which enraged his mother. And we also read that the boys would argue and have fights over who would share the bed with their mother. What else? So Carlos, who was Jose's brother-in-law, he told the jury that Jose was frustrated with his sons. Erik and Lyle expressed an interest in removing them as beneficiaries of his will in early 1989. And 2 computer experts were hired to go through the computers to search for 4 files on the computer. And they were titled Will, Lyle, Erik, and Menendez. The computer expert that was hired by Lyle was instructed to destroy them. The second expert was one that was hired by Carlos, Jose's brother-in-law. Carlos said, following his brother's death, that he was unable to find the file labeled Menendez, Will, Lyle, or Erik. And the computer expert testified, saying, in my opinion, there was another program that was used to clean the hard disk that was containing the file. So see, would you like to?
Yes, continue.
Yeah.
Okay. December 3rd, 1993. Testimony in the brothers' trial ends after the presentation of 101 witnesses, including the emotional accounts of Erik and Lyle over nearly 5 months. On January 13th, 1994, Superior Court Judge Stanley Weinsberg declares a mistrial after jurors considering the case against Erik say they remain hopelessly deadlocked after 19 days of deliberations. Jurors are split between first and second-degree murder and voluntary manslaughter, and are split on charges of conspiracy to commit murder. On January 28th, 1994, the judge declares a mistrial in the case against Lyle after jurors say they are deadlocked after a record 25 days of deliberations. Jurors are split between first and second-degree murder and voluntary manslaughter, and are split on charges of conspiracy to commit murder.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Yeah.
I heard that it was 6 men and 6 women.
Yeah.
And all the 6 men found them guilty. All the 6 women found them non-guilty.
And apparently they think it was because of the boys' looks.
Right.
And that was another thing. They didn't refer to Erik and Lyle as grown men, which they were, in my opinion. Erik was 18. Lyle was how old? 24?
21.
I was about to say, I think 21 or 22.
21. So they referred to them as boys during the trial. They didn't refer to them as men.
Even the therapist,
even young looking.
Even the therapist said that they had minds of children, though. They said that they were more like 6th graders.
But still, they were adults.
Age-wise, they were adults. Age-wise,
well,
but mentally, I'm not sure.
You and I both know why they referred to them as boys.
Right.
Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to add that in there.
So where were we? So the June 29th, 1994, the judge says he wants to retry Erik and Lyle before one jury. And at this point, he determines that they're not going to use the sexual abuse allegations due to the fact that they were unsubstantiated. We watched all 6 hours of Erik and Lyle's testimony, and while it was parts of it kind of had you thinking that maybe possibly these assaults did happen, there was other times where I kind of felt like they were just really good actors. And like I said, it had never been brought up prior to them being charged with the murder of their parents that any type of sexual abuse had gone on.
Yeah, because even when they were confessing to the psychiatrist, they did at first. Lyle told them that his father was great, there was nothing wrong. He didn't say anything about the sexual abuse at first.
But they did have friends and family get up there and say that, they had been told this, or they got a letter stating that, or
So there is some things that make you believe, okay, so there's definitely a possibility that did happen. And then there's other things that make you wonder. So
I definitely believe the physical abuse and the mental abuse was there. No doubt, no ifs, ands, or buts.
For
Yeah.
The
sure.
sexual abuse, there's things that make me believe it, and I believe the younger boy, for some reason, I want to believe that he was sexually assaulted by someone. I don't know, maybe his dad, whatever. The other
Well,
one, I'm not too sure of. I think it's more of a money grab, in
well, the
my
younger
opinion.
one actually, well, the older brother admitted to assaulting the younger boy in the same manner that he was accusing his mother and father of. That his younger brother actually became his victim.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
So
did. Yeah, I read that
Very
also.
sad.
yeah. So on February 1st, 96, the defense lawyers rested their case without calling Lyle to the stand during this trial. On the 16th, Judge Weisberg effectively bars the jury from returning manslaughter verdicts for the slaying of Kitty, but allows the jury to return a manslaughter verdict for Jose's death. He had also ruled that jurors wouldn't be able to consider the brothers' claim that they killed because they believed their parents were about to kill them.
Yeah.
So that was another thing that that Erik and Lyle used. They said that their parents were in the den with the door closed and they thought that they were in there conspiring to kill them. So they killed their parents before their parents had the chance to kill them. On February 29th, 96, the lawyers wrap up 8 days of closing arguments before the jury, with prosecutors calling the defense a hoax and the defense attorneys pleading with the jury to be lenient. On March 1st, the jury begins its deliberation after hearing nearly 5 months worth of testimony. On the 20th of March, 1996, the jury convicts both brothers of first-degree murder with special circumstances. Peach, did you want to continue?
I don't even know where you're at, to be honest with
Okay,
you.
I'll continue. April 5th, 1996. Erik Leeds defense attorney Leslie Abramson invokes her Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination, refusing to answer the judge's questions about possible evidence tampering. On April 9, 1996, the judge rules that Abramson can remain on the case after 4 days of hearing and final private meeting with Erik. Earlier, Abramson said she would waive her Fifth Amendment right. On April 15, 1996, the jury begins its deliberations to determine whether Erik and Lyle should be sentenced to the death penalty or life in prison terms. April 17, 1996, jury recommends life in prison without the possibility of parole.
So a question that C and I had was, so the brothers knew obviously that the sexual assault was happening to each brother, and apparently they knew that the father was doing this and that the mother was doing this. Our question was, did the parents know? Did the mother know that the father was doing it?
And vice versa.
And vice versa. Now, we did read that the mother might have known, but didn't believe them or just ignored it.
Yeah, the boys said that their mother knew about it, but she was always drunk and she was always trying to please Jose.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I could see that because, here she is not working here, he's the money, he's the bank.
Yep.
So, let's please him, keep my marriage, because he was already cheating on her. The marriage was over, but yet she was still hanging on.
And I think that she loved him, she loved
I
him
bel
and
Well, there's a thing of love and being in love. I believe she loved the money. I believe she loved the
yeah.
security. Um,
Mm-hmm.
at one time, do I believe she was in love with him? Absolutely. But I believe personally their love had faded.
Diminished,
It's
yeah.
hard to
Yes.
love somebody that's constantly cheating on you.
Yes. And
And she had her addictions.
They said that, during the week he was gone a lot of time during the week. Well, it's kind of hard to have a marriage when you're not with your partner,
Well, he had several mistresses, so
Yeah, they said that he was engaged to several prostitute women.
oh wow.
He had a woman in New Jersey. He had a woman in New York. He had several in
Mhm.
California.
Mm-hmm.
He just had women all over the place. And
I
as
wonder if
far
there's
as
children that she didn't know about or that
um
people don't know about.
the boys not saying nothing prior, as a woman, it's hard to say something like that. But for a man, I imagine it's even harder to say that I was molested,
Yeah.
because
Well,
we all have our foolish pride, but a man that's all of that's his dignity. That's everything.
apparently
So,
Lyle was also balding, and was it the father or the mother that ripped his hair
Oh,
right off his head?
they forced him to wear a toupee.
yeah,
Yeah.
the oldest one, what's the oldest one's name?
Lyle.
Yeah, he's the one. He was balding by, like, from my understanding, his teenage years. He
Poor
was going
thing.
bald. So, yeah. Like I said,
And
there's so
then
many ways I want to believe them kids. Now that don't give them, they were grown, so yeah, they could have left.
there also was that they thought that maybe the brothers murdered their parents because um they were going to reveal that he was homosexual.
Mm-hmm.
Well, both of them, are married. Both of them are married to women.
Karen raised a good point, and this I also think this is um a very likely possibility and a reason for what they did. Um, she said that they thought that they were going to be oh sorry, I think they were worried the parents were going to kick them out and not support them. I don't believe that they thought the parents were going to kill them. I don't think so either. I
Mm-mm.
think that they were worried about,
Getting cut off.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And that can be a scary thing when you've been
I
spoiled
agree.
all your life.
I was
Yeah.
about to say, for them, they've never had to live a poor life. So,
Mm-hmm.
you're driving around in Bentleys and you're going from a Bentley to a Volkswagen. If you're lucky, that's a big,
Hmm.
Yeah, a big
that's a
change.
yeah, that's a big slap in the face for them boys, because they don't know what struggle is. But at the same time, you got to blame the parents to an extent on some things. Just like I said, when they were out there robbing these houses, instead of the dad letting them be punished, going to jail, whatever, whatever, he was out there paying their way out. As a matter of fact, he had Erik take the blame because Erik was younger and he wouldn't go to jail over it. So,
He didn't want to desecrate the family name. This man was a very arrogant man. He was well driven. He cared a lot about his image.
Well,
And
did he not want people at work to know that he
yeah,
was Cuban? And then
yeah,
other places you would read that he was so proud to be from where he was from and come up the way that he had come up. But we read that and mentioned that they came from a well-to-do family. They never had to
hmm
want for anything. So what was he so ashamed about?
I guess
at
in that corporate world, you know.
he wanted his sons to be something that they wasn't. So they were a disappointment. And he wanted to go around bragging about his kids, not, oh, my son broke into Joe Blow's house down the street.
Yeah, but that doesn't explain to me why he was so ashamed that he was from Cuba.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I'm not sure why he would be ashamed of where he come from myself, but
He came from a well-to-do family. It's not like
hmm
he came up poor.
His
I know
father
that,
was driven too.
yeah,
Yeah.
he put a lot on his kids, and I don't know if his kids could have ever pleased him with the pressure that he put on them.
No,
I really
absolutely
don't.
not. I agree. I'm so glad I didn't have to come up raised like that.
Yes.
My parents told me to try, and as long as I tried, I was doing my best.
Yeah, as
Mm-hmm.
long as I done my best, I was good, whether I failed or not. And to me, it's not about how you fall; it's how you get up and keep going.
That's
Mm-hmm.
right. Scotty says this story feels recent, but it's been 30 years.
I know that they kept the brothers separated, in different prisons for
Yeah.
I think up to like 2015, 2016 before they ever was reunited.
No,
Yep.
I think later than that.
It may have been. It was
2019.
Yeah, it was years, years.
Did
But I
anybody see the picture that I shared where Lyle was grinning in court?
I'm not sure if I did or
You want
not.
to post it again?
Yeah, I'll share it again. I'm so
Yeah,
grossed
we
out
were.
by that picture. How can you grin in court like that? He looks so smug.
Yes,
And we
Christine, they are together now.
we also got crime pictures, but they're too graphic to show.
Yeah, I showed
It was
one of the
brutal.
couch. Okay.
But like I said, both of the brothers ended up getting married in prison. The
Yeah.
one brother's been married twice, as a matter of fact, but
And Erik it's been rumored that he's had um relations with other inmates.
Oh yes, forgot about that.
Like, look at that smile. How can you smile?
And that they refer to themselves
That bothers me.
as
I know that
sociopaths.
Yeah.
Eric's wife has a like a Facebook page or whatever where you can go on there and support him where they're trying to get him out.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
a cousin of theirs found a letter that was sent to him years before, all
Mm-hmm.
this happened, and it's him confessing to all the things that was happening. So they're trying to get another trial based on that letter because, the last trial they wasn't allowed to bring in any sexual assault until they got
Mm-hmm.
proof of it. So they're trying to use this letter as proof.
Did you explain about the bill that's been?
Well, there's actually been 3 bills that has been passed, and hold on, I'll tell you what they are. Bill 394, Bill 260, and Bill 261. 260 and 261 is basically if you are, it was 23, but they moved it up to age 25. If you've
Mm-hmm.
been charged with uh, murder, I think it's murder without parole, you're allowed to go back in there and get resentenced, which means 9 times out of 10, if they go through the trouble of, you being resentenced, you're going to get less time, not more time.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the way the courts work.
Hmm.
There's also a Bill 394, and it will only apply to one brother. It's 18 and under. If I'm reading it correctly, if you're 18 and under when you committed a crime, you cannot be charged with life without parole.
Mm.
Or or you can't be charged with death or whatever. Anything past a certain charge, you cannot be charged with it. These are some bills that was signed when Donald Trump was in office. So it may help them, it may not. Don't get, who knows.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Personally,
they said that
personally,
they
I
felt that
see.
their life was at risk and that they were in danger, in immediate danger.
I personally
When they
see the
killed
young
their
boy getting
parents.
out.
When they
I,
killed their parents. So, what do you guys think? Do you think their life was in immediate danger?
I don't. I don't think that I don't think they were in immediate danger.
No, me either.
Because at the time when they shot the parents were sitting in the den enjoying a movie. Kitty was laying on her husband's lap, and they were just having a quiet evening in. So there was no threat of any danger toward them at that point.
I could actually see the younger one getting out to, one day. I don't know when. I could actually see it. And I believe that he actually has remorse. Not, he's still guilty. He done it. Don't get me wrong. But from what I read, he was supposed to do all this shooting. And when it come time to do it, he froze up. So the
He
other
was the
brother
one.
had to
He's
do
the
it.
one that
He shot though.
he shot the
Yeah,
first
both of
shot.
them. Yeah, both of them actually shot. But
He
from what
shot the
I
first
read,
shot.
He just
yeah,
couldn't finish the mother. That's what.
exactly.
But he shot.
Yeah, he was supposed to do this and that. Like I said, yeah, both of them shot. But where he was supposed to do a job, he froze up and couldn't finish it.
But he
They
went in
went back
there
out,
firing the first shots.
but still they went out, they reloaded the gun, and they said when he went back in, he couldn't do it. The other brother had to finish. And like I said, I know both of them's guilty. I'm not trying to defend either one of them. They're both guilty as hell.
Yeah.
But I
The-
still believe the little brher was kind of following the
Now,
big
I
brother.
felt the same as you in the beginning when I thought that Lyle was supposed to kill the father, Erik was supposed to kill the mother, and when it came time to do it, he couldn't do it. I wasn't of the knowledge that he was the first one to go in there.
Yeah.
After I read and got a clear picture of it, my opinion completely changed.
Yeah.
And Scotty,
Yeah,
I'm
because I
still
think what set off the events was when the father cut them off. That's when the brothers went into premeditating now.
It's not like they were 13 and 14 years old and still too young to be out on their own. These were almost adults. He was an adult.
They were
to
both,
me that
yeah.
there's the only thing that I feel strongly against. They're old enough that they could have left.
Yeah,
They
or
wasn't
even
kids.
report his parents if they're doing that to you or they've done that to you.
Yeah, something. They're not kids. They was not,
They were old enough to be able to do something about it.
And to me, if they were, and like I said, I believe the youngest one, for some reason, I believe he was sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
Well, I was telling Sarah that I would like to obtain their psychological report because that's gonna have a lot of yes.
Well, like I said, now the one did
is common in
testify in
children
court.
that are assaulted.
That grow up in abusive homes.
Yeah.
Being abused.
Bedwetting is a very common, let's call it a side effect.
Well, they did testify in court that they did not have the mental capacity of their age. They, like I said, they was more on a sixth grader, a 12, 13-year-old kid's mindset.
Yeah.
Even at 12 and 13 years old, you know that killing someone is wrong. I don't care how you look at it.
Exactly.
But at the same time,
the younger brother, Erik, had some hearing issues. And I think that also played, was a big key in him having such difficulties in learning. Because he testified that his mother would lock him in the closet and he was forced to do work in there. He couldn't, he had to ask permission to use the bathroom. And at one point,
able to.
Yeah, and if she wasn't, she like run him like a pail or something, and he had to go in the closet.
And he'd have to hand it to her, and he didn't want to hand it to her. Like, just messed up things.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that. Now, there's some things that that was said that I kind of believe.
Embellish it.
Some of it I believe he kind of stretched out a little bit. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Exactly, Karen. They were not underage and trapped.
And that's what me and Sarah was saying. They were already 18 and 21. They could have left. They could have ran away.
And even if they were, they had a lesser mental capacity than someone of that age. They had aunts, they had uncles, they had friends. Go and talk to one of their parents. I'm sure if you tell your parents you're being abused, or tell your friend's parents you have nowhere to go, you're being abused, you're being sexually abused at that.
Lyle went to Princeton, which we talked about that earlier, and one of his roommates or whatever from Princeton actually had said that Lyle told him that he was, sexually molested. But when it come time to get up and go to court, he backed out and said that he didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So in court, he testified that he didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah.
So
it really makes you wonder. I don't know. I have a hard time believing it was both the parents. I can understand, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I just have a harder time believing that it was both the parents, especially the mother.
Yeah, that was sad.
I don't know about both parents molesting them, but I can see the mother knowing about it.
Right, and looking the other way, or just denying that it's even happening.
That might have been one of the reasons why she would drink so much.
I'm sure there's teachers that take advantage of children in their classrooms. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying I have a hard time believing it.
Yeah,
yes,
like I said, too. I don't foresee the mom doing it. I really don't. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But I believe that she knew.
I think that's why they had such a hard time killing her.
Maybe you're right.
To be honest with you, I only seen the mom as an alcoholic pill popper. Not nothing, not abusive, not sexually,
well, she might have been verbally abusive, because of
read that she was experiencing abuse growing up.
Right.
And a lot of people that have those kind of, I don't want to call it a skeleton in your closet, because it's nothing that she did to bring that on herself. But when people have a difficult time dealing and coping with emotions and feelings and things that you haven't dealt with in the past, because she was being cheated on, if the father was like that to the children, was he like that to his wife? Was he verbally and emotionally, financially abusive to his wife, even maybe physically? Was she still having a hard time dealing with that? Was that how she escaped all of that? Was drinking and popping pills? Maybe if she knew that the father was assaulting their sons, she probably had a really hard time dealing with that, knowing that that was going on. That she was staying in that, and she stayed with that.
At the end of the day, you got to look at this man's having numerous affairs. Your mom's an alcoholic pill popper. It could not have been a happy home for anyone. The husband, the wife, the kids, for anyone. So I don't know if that justifies, or it definitely don't justify you killing someone.
No.
There again, I don't know. I keep going back and forth with these kids. They're definitely guilty, no doubt, but I don't know if they're guilty enough to spend the rest of their life in prison. That's my thing.
If you
I already believe the one kid has remorse.
Be able to have yours.
What was that?
Say that again?
I said, if you take someone's life, you shouldn't be able to enjoy yours on the outside. His parents don't get to.
My thing is the level of that they went to it was the scene was so gruesome, and how they shot up their parents, in the kneecaps to make them seem like it was a mafia hit in the head. The dad's head was almost severed. Kitty's face, part of it was gone, her eye.
It was very
shot nine
brutal.
times,
Yeah.
10
Yeah.
times. Like it was it just the extent into which they murdered their families. It's hard for
Trying
me
to
to.
hide the purchase of the weapons by using fake ID.
Well, it had to be premeditated because they bought the guns
Definitely.
just days before, you know?
Definitely.
So it wasn't a spur of the moment thing.
Oh, Scotty has a
I don't,
question.
I don't know how long they planned it. You know, did they just plan it and say, oh, I'm going to do it as soon as I get these guns, I will blow you away? Because
I
Hmm.
that's
think
basically the way
so.
it happened.
Look at the screenplay they wrote.
Yeah, well, that there's what made me, the screenplay,
Hmm.
I think, is what made me say, you're guilty of sin. It's like, you wrote that, you already knew what was going to happen, and then he ended up playing out his play.
So Scotty asked, "Does everyone agree about the molestation accusation, or was it just a money grab?" I think it was about the insurance money. Honestly, I do.
I believe that I don't know about both boys, but I definitely believe the younger boy was molested. I don't know if it was by his dad. Maybe he was meaning his brother and pointing at his dad, but I believe that he was molested somewhere along the lines.
Yeah.
Well, I do believe that there was abuse there mentally and some physically, but I also believe that their motive also was money driven. Not only the abuse, but
Mhm.
also the money.
I believe the money had a lot to do with it. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I really do believe that.
Yes.
But they also said that he had threatened them numerous times that I'm going to cut you out the will. So this wasn't, the first time. From my
Yeah.
understanding, since they were like 15 years old, he had been threatening them to cut them out the will.
Hmm.
Yes.
So was he really going to cut them out the will, or was he just another threat?
Hmm.
Exactly.
Why did this threat take him overboard about being cut out the will? Why not 5
And
threats
I like
before?
cases like this that make you think, that make you flip flop back and forth. Did
Yeah.
they do it for a good reason? Well, there's no good reason to kill somebody unless your life is truly in danger. But
Ash,
that
I
makes you
agree.
flip flop back and forth about the judgment that they were given. And
Hmm.
I'll agree with you to a certain extent. I haven't been molested, but I imagine someone that's been molested, if you have truly been molested and you're still having to look at your predator every day, I believe that could drive you to commit murder. Not
Hmm.
to say that, it's okay, but I see where someone could kill someone over that.
yeah,
Do I believe that someone that's been a
definitely I can
predator?
see where someone could do that.
Yeah, and if that's the case, I don't see where they would throw the book, lock you up, throw away the key.
Hmm.
Do you need to go to jail? Probably so, yeah. But at the same time, you need help more than jail.
Ash, yeah, exactly. Ash says, I could be wrong. I hate to say that they were not molested and then come to find out that they were. Hi, Aunt.
Well, that's me. Do I know that they've been molested? Absolutely not. But for some reason, I believe the youngest one, the oldest one, I don't know. He seems like he was putting on a show for us.
Yeah.
Anti
That's just my opinion. But the younger one,
Well, did you listen to them on the phone?
the 911 call.
The 911 call is ridiculous.
yeah, I mean, that there
Screaming
had,
and crying and whining that my parents were shot. I don't know who did it.
you got to honestly give them, that was a damn Oscar nominee right there. I
That's
mean,
what I said. That
Academy
was an
Award
Academy
winner.
Award winning.
Yes.
Hey, Aunt, how are you?
Hi, this I am.
And I hope one day that, I guess they find peace on what they done because, they done it. But I hope that
Yeah.
in so many ways, I hope they get a second chance if they have changed. Yeah.
I hope that they can rehabilitate.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
right now,
If it was premeditated and the parents had done nothing wrong to them and this was all a ploy to get their insurance money to try and get away with this, no, I don't think they deserve to be out.
well,
Mhm.
Because age that they were, you know the difference between right and wrong.
And there again, that's the only thing that holds me back is their age, being that they were grown. They could have took their losses and got the hell out. From my understanding, the one kid, the oldest one, had already moved out and come back and asked his dad, because supposedly the younger one called and said that, his dad was molesting him, blah, blah, blah. The older one asked the dad if he could come and stay with him. And the dad said no, because the dad would, lose control then.
Yeah, he didn't want to stay with his mother.
Right. So why didn't they just leave? Anyway, he was 18 years old. He didn't need his dad's permission.
Mm-hmm.
The oldest one, like I said, was already done moved out, had his own place.
Yeah.
Why did he come back and kill him? That's the oldest one to me is just, I don't feel sorry for the oldest one. I'm sorry, I don't. The youngest one, there's something about him that I don't know. I believe his story. And they're both, when they got arrested, they both were separated immediately. How did they come up with this story that, believe it or not, they both sound very similar to one another,
Right.
And that's another thing that makes me believe that something happened. Some kind of molestation. Maybe the older one was molesting the younger one, and the younger one was saying how the older one molested him, but just saying it was the dad. I don't know. That's a thought.
Yeah.
After all, they admitted to molesting him. He admitted to molesting him. But from what I understand, the dad was kind of like coaching him to do it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if they had jobs. Peach, do you know?
Like I said, the one kid was going to work with his dad's business. Did he actually make it, to go to work with him? I really don't know. But they did talk about the one working in his dad's big company that he's a CEO of or whatever.
And the one was playing tennis. I think that's what he wanted to do as his profession.
Yeah, he wanted to play tennis professionally, yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, they said that he was really good at it. They said he was great at it. And the other kid actually was a swimmer. He took swimming. He took several sports, but swimming was his main whatever.
Taking after his grandparents.
Yes.
They both played tennis.
Mm-hmm.
Just the one was a lot better.
Yeah, the one had planned on being a professional. As a matter of fact, when they killed their parents, he went and hired a professional coach.
Yeah, Erik.
And I think he was paying him like $60,000 or $70,000 a year.
Yeah, 70.
Yeah, so Karen says, so basically living on dad's money. So
thank you, fishing up a storm.
That was the hold if the abuse is true, and why they did not leave. Thank you, fishing. The one brother was a lot weaker mentally, I think. Yeah. Well, he looked up. Are you speaking about the younger one, Erik? Because he looked up to his brother and he thought the world revolved around his brother. Like he loved his brother.
I said the exact same thing. I think the one just followed in whatever the older brother said, and he kind of went along with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's sad. I feel bad for the parents.
Yeah.
If the parents weren't doing anything to their kids, I feel bad for the parents. I really do. If they were both doing what to their children, what they were accused of, then I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't think they deserve to die. But if that was the case, I do think they deserve to spend the rest of their lives in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
When this case first happened, I never for once believed that the parents molested their kids because, you're in Hollywood. These rich, fancy neighborhoods, But now all this stuff that's going on in Hollywood, I definitely believe, because Hollywood seems to be, not to say everyone in Hollywood is doing it, but it seems to be revolved around all that, the rich
Scotty,
and famous.
I'm sure they both had dealt with PTSD
Yeah.
from all the trauma,
At minimum, the father was
the mental.
very controlling, very
Yeah,
aggressive, very verbally and at times physically abusive.
yeah.
Probably like I mentioned before, probably financially abusive. Like Peach
Mm-hmm.
said, there was always the threat of you're going to be taken out of the will.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get any money from me.
I definitely believe for sure there was mental, there was physical, there was
Definitely.
emotional. Those three abuses was definitely there. The
And that
sexual is
that
the only
alone is
question.
enough to give you PTSD.
Yes.
Definitely. So, um maybe we should end this live. We're at an hour and 15 minutes. Um and are you going to go live, see?
Yeah, let's go to my live
Kimber's good night, sweetheart. Thank you for coming to our live tonight. I really appreciate it.
and do what we do over there.
And
All right.
Scotty, we're gonna do shots. Who
Yes.
Stacy was asking if
Yeah,
we were going to have a couple of drinks.
definitely. Definitely.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Scotty. I think
Thank,
we're getting a little bit more comfortable with doing this.
thanks for everyone coming in, giving us a
Thank
live.
you,
Yeah.
Christine. And thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. Thank you, Ash.
Okay, guys. Um, I will post C's channel in the chat. Um,
Oh yeah, maybe I should go start
Scotty,
the
you're
thing
doing
and
a
see.
giveaway in the future. That's right. Scotty's doing a giveaway on your channel, right, Scotty? And it's a draw. Can you explain what you're doing a little bit? And I will also share Scotty's channel.
Channel.
And I'm gonna share Ant's channel and BJ's channel.
Yeah. Scotty, BJ, and yeah,
Yours. And we'll share Jimmy's too. But I
and
think a lot of
Jimmy.
our subscribers are from Jimmy's channel already. So okay. Thank you, Leo.
Hey, Happy. Happy, I don't remember what I was talking about, but some reason I brought your name up the other day.
Hi, Triple D.
That's not Triple D. That's
It's,
Happy Davis.
oh, hi. Sorry.
He used to be in
Isn't
Jimmy's
his
chat a
name
long
Dave
time
Allen
ago.
too?
Yeah, that's it. Like I said, it's Happy Davis, and he used to be in Jimmy's chat like way back when.
Oh. Oh.
That's right, Scotty. It's got my name all over it.
And please join Todd's channel.
Oh yeah, and Todd Gaming.
Happy, make sure you go over there at Scotty Pippen's and look at some of that shit he be having. It'll make your mouth water.
You posted mine, Mama?
I posted yours first.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
He was banned because she was funnier than him.
I'm gonna post Jimmy's channel, and then
Yeah.
Leo, I don't like putting bodies in the pond.
Oh, and
Only
ants
dead
too.
animals.
I already did.
Okay.
I
I
am
can't
one
see.
step ahead of you.
Oh, yes, it's right there.
Pretty woman.
Sorry.
The fish
Maybe
ain't too
over
good
here.
at eating bodies.
Oh,
You're not getting that bong, Todd. That's got my name all over it.
this is.
Don't make me come to Indiana.
See,
Yes.
um, Lux on Fire says he can't find your Cash App. Do I have the right Cash App on the bottom of the screen?
Yes.
Can you type it out in the chat so you can just copy and paste it?
Yes. Let me type it up. Ouch.
Scotty, are you doing that giveaway on your channel, right? And it's a draw, am I correct? You put everybody's name in and you're gonna draw one name? Karen says, Peach, be careful. Todd be fighting kangaroos.
I want to be the damn kangaroo and whip up on Todd's ass. We done told him our money's on the damn kangaroo.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's a random drawing,
There
but
you go.
this is the deal. If he draws anybody's name besides mine, he's got to put it back in and draw again. It don't count.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's how a draw works, but okay, Peachy.
Thank you, Todd. Todd posted it too.
Well, we're going to change the rules a little bit. Or he could just take the one that's got my name on it and tape it to his hand and then act like he's drawing it.
Todd is saying that's not how it works, Peach.
Yes, people in Canada can win.
If you win, though, you got to send the bong to me. That's the only deal. You can keep the pen, though, because they give me headaches. Oh, the bong is out the giveaway. That's right, because my name's on it already. He done said it. It's got a big old T on there. So all I got to do is wait on 420 so he can announce me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, I posted C's channel. We're going to head over there. Come on over and have a drink with us.
Yes, and enjoy.
Thanks, guys, and have a good night. I'll see you in C's chat in 5 minutes.
Love you guys. Peace. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Bye, beauties.
So, bye, baby girl. I'll see you in your
Mommy.
channel. Can you send me the link?
Yes, I will right now. Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Scotty.